Hey Vista, welcome to episode 3 of your City Council Tea, where I watch the meetings so you don't have to. This episode covers last night's Vista City Council meeting, which was on March 24th, 2026, and boy, was it a, exciting one, dare I say? Awful, maybe, is more appropriate. It opened and was disrupted several times with some pretty nasty and time-wasting public comment that Council is now reviewing from a legal standpoint. Before we get into it, hi, I'm Chris Rainwaters, Vista California's self-proclaimed village witch and a licensed realtor here in Southern California, breaking down what's happening locally so you can understand what's actually affecting our community. Today's sponsor is this little beauty, whom my buyer and I have been waiting to show her pretty little face for almost a year. She provided multiple spots to sit outside and enjoy the morning while writing this script for your enjoyment during her home inspection today, which was perfect because she also happens to be in Vista. Thank you to my wonderful clients and friends. All right, so let's dive into what happened at this meeting and what it all means for Vista. Okay, so at the beginning of the meeting, there was a speaker who used racist and threatening language during public comment. Council directed the city attorney to review case law about when speakers can be cut off during Zoom and phone comments without violating First Amendment protections. The issue here wasn't just that the language was horrifyingly offensive, it was whether the way it was being used crossed into intimidation and or disruption of the meeting. And honestly, it was pretty shocking to hear. I haven't heard anything like that in real life and not like on a movie or, on the internet in a long time. Seriously, you are welcome for taking that bullet because it was really gross. If you were in the room for that or watching live, you know exactly what I'm talking about. What this means is we may see updated meeting procedures in the future around how remote public comment is handled. And cities all across California are dealing with this exact question right now, especially since more meetings still allow phone and Zoom participation. In my opinion, it was definitely not only disruptive and vile, but it was also unconstructive and a complete waste of everyone's time. Plus, I had to cleanse that yucky stuff off of me afterwards. Ugh. Anyway, and then the council opened the public comment period for the city's community development block grant plan, which distributes about $976,000 in federal funding locally. So this money supports organizations like Boys and Girls Club, Operation Hope, Solutions for Change, Lifeline Community Services, Palomar Family Counseling, Meals on Wheels, Vista Community Clinic, Voices for Children, and several youth mentorship programs. These are organizations helping with things like housing stability, mental health services, foster youth support, homelessness prevention, senior nutrition, and domestic violence recovery housing. It is one of the biggest quiet support systems working behind the scenes in Vista. A large portion of the infrastructure funding this year is also expected to go towards sidewalk improvements near schools and in higher need neighborhoods. Then the council updated Vista's sidewalk vending ordinance. Now, this was something that they were required to do by the state. So cities can no longer require fingerprinting or criminal background checks as part of sidewalk vending permits. One council member symbolically voted no, and it's not because they disagreed with the change, but because the state required them to make the change. They thought it should be up to us. Either way, the ordinance now matches California law. Now, the biggest conversation of the night was the joint use agreement with Vista Unified School District. Council members discussed expanding access to school gyms, sports fields, cafeterias, community centers, pools, performing arts spaces, and even some vacant school properties. The goal here is simple. Let's use facilities that already exist instead of building new ones from scratch. That saves millions of dollars and acres of space. I mean, no brainer, right? Youth sports access came up repeatedly during this conversation. Council members said something clearly. Local youth leagues are being forced to go to other cities because there simply aren't enough available fields here. Little League has already had to turn kids away this year, and that should never happen. So council is now exploring ways to make school athletic fields available when they're not being used for school programs. That could be a major improvement for youth sports access in Vista if it moves forward. And I I do want to add something here from a local perspective. While the council specifically cited baseball, this isn't just affecting baseball. We're also seeing youth football programs struggle to get consistent field access and community support. And families are leaving Vista to participate in leagues in other cities. I know this because I'm a football mom and I'm seeing it happen in real time. Fields are a big part of it, but it's also a bigger conversation about how youth programs are supported here overall. So as the city starts talking about shared use with Vista Unified, I think this is something worth paying attention to. If the goal is to keep kids playing and families engaged locally, access and coordination really matter. Cooling centers were another priority because Vista currently only has 2 designated cool zones. Council members talked about possibly opening school gyms and cafeterias during extreme heat events. That is something that we will likely see explored as part of the joint use agreement conversation as well. And pools came up again because the city has talked for years about needing more pool access. Now, council is looking at the possibility of partnering with Vista Unified to build shared pool facilities. That would support things like lap swimming, youth programs, diving programs, workforce training, and community recreation. Pools are expensive. Ask me how I know as I wait for our new pool pump to arrive as I watched mine quickly turn green. Shared funding makes them more realistic. Hey, maybe the city wants to share fund my pool. It's not really big enough for lap swimming or deep enough for diving, but we could get a small group of maybe seniors together for some water aerobics, maybe? Could be fun. Part of this discussion naturally included the 2 vacant school sites around the district. And so council members talked about the importance of starting partnership conversations early since they have buildings that aren't being utilized. And the timing here really matters because Vista Unified is currently exploring whether to place a facilities bond on the ballot. And if the city and the district start coordinating now, that can influence whether those sites become shared community assets in the future. That's a big deal, especially because school facilities funding in California doesn't work the way most people assume it does. Local communities help fund these campuses, but access to them outside of school hours often depends on whether joint use agreements exist. So when the city starts talking about the shared use of fields, gyms, theaters, and possibly even future projects on unused sites, that's part of a larger conversation about how these public spaces serve the whole community. I mean, we all pay for it, so why not, right? I actually made a short series recently about Vista Unified, digging into their ratings, programs, facilities, progress, and future plans, as well as how a lot of that gets funded. And I made an open letter to the Vista School Board, urging them to place the bond on the ballot. So if you want the background behind why this timing matters right now, I'll link those below. But the takeaway from this part is simple. The city is signaling that it wants to work with Vista Unified earlier in the process instead of later. And that could make a real difference in how these facilities serve students and the broader community. There was also a really important transparency idea raised. So Councilmember Contreras asked how residents are supposed to know which school facilities are even available now to the public and when. Right now, that information is kind of hard to find. So some ideas floated were a shared calendar, a public map, and better visibility online. This is exactly the kind of improvement that makes existing community resources easier to use. Personally, I think they should just put a calendar app up on the City of Vista's app. Also a brewery, winery, tasting room directory, but I digress. Council also revealed plans for the new neighborhood park, currently temporarily dubbed Benito Juarez Pocket Park, which was agreed upon until a better name comes along. The design direction includes shade trees, native landscaping, a restroom, and a misting station. So fun for the kiddos on those hot days, especially if you don't have AC, and I get it. Really, I do. I do not have AC. Red painted curbs near the park entrances for visibility and safety, of course. Thank you, Deputy Mayor O'Donnell. And an idea was floated about creating a sculpture from the original tree that is unfortunately gonna have to be removed from the site. She's not doing good, guys. The city's arborist said it was time. But there is some lore and mystery around this tree, so the council will investigate it and decide the best way to preserve the memory and story behind it once they have more information. And then here's a wrap up of the council comments. So for those of you near Dawson and Melrose, the new traffic signal is expected to go live next week. That's one of the intersections that residents have been waiting on for a while. Then council member Contreras attended a regional transportation meeting through Sandag and pointed out something really important. The inland rail trail still isn't fully funded through Vista. That trail connects cities across North County and is meant to support both recreation and safer bike commuting. Right now, the Vista segment still needs funding. Council said that they plan to keep pushing for that. And I say, yay, because who doesn't want to ride to the beach? Well, I guess people who don't like to bike ride or don't like the beach. And Deputy Mayor O'Donnell announced a town hall he's hosting on April 19th from 12:30 to 2 p.m. at the Morris Vance Community Room at the Civic Center. Sheriff's staff will be there, the San Diego Bike Coalition will be there, and the goal here is to talk about community safety, youth riding behavior, and possible solutions the city can actually implement. So if you've had concerns about e-bike safety locally, that's a good meeting to attend. See, people like to bike, especially gangs of teenagers mobbing around and popping wheelies. I'm sure you've seen them. I feel like we all have at this point. A completed rail trail would help with some of that safety too, but I mean, duh. So I hope we get that funding soon. Okay, so here's the big picture takeaway from the meeting. The city is actively looking at ways to expand youth sports access, open more shared community facilities, increase cooling infrastructure during heat events, support local nonprofits addressing housing stability and mental health, and improve transparency around which public spaces residents can actually use. And those school district partnerships are likely going to be a major part of that work moving forward. And that's it. That's your Vista City Council tea for this week. If you want me to keep covering meetings like this so you can stay informed without having to sit through the long, boring hours of them yourself, make sure you give this video a like and that you're subscribed and hit the little bell so you're always in the know. And if there's something from the meeting that you want me to dig into deeper, let me know in the comments. If you'd like to connect, all the important links are down below in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, but hopefully sooner.